In 2015, I went to Australia, and I had the great privilege of birding a number of locations around the Cape York Peninsula near Port Douglas. So I picked up a copy of Piscian Night, studied it for about 18 months, and headed to Australia. My utmost goal for the trip was to see an emu. The story of that search for one of Australia's most iconic birds is one I will never forget. So join me as I recount the tale. Most of the photography you'll see in this video are what birders call record shots. They weren't meant to be artistic, they weren't meant to be great compositions, they were really just meant to be a record of the birds that I saw on the trip. Whenever I travel, I'm always interested in the birds that I can't see back home, especially when it's an entire family or even an order of birds that we don't have in New Jersey. Such was the case with these Papuan frogmouths that roosted every night outside our hotel room. We also got a chance to see some tawny frogmouths. The orange-footed megapodes also fell into that category, seeming like some sort of strange cross between a dove, a quail, and a moorhen. During the course of the trip, I saw 3 different species of wood swallow, and the white-breasted wood swallow was the most common. These were interesting birds that kind of combined the characteristics of a swallow with something heavier, like a tanager. I also got to see quite a few interesting raptors on the trip, including 12 hawks and eagles. They were a little challenging because many of them have the same kind of brown and black patterns across them, but with a little practice, they started to make sense. Later in the trip, we hooked up with a guide who took us out for a big day. I saw my 1,000th life bird, which turned out to be a fairy martin. But the real targets for the day were Victoria's riflebird, southern cassowary, and that emu that I wanted more than anything else.
Odd. That's Victoria's riflebird. So a little shrike thrush, it'll probably turn up on eBird as rufous shrike thrush.
Oh, I got a green catbird, or spotted catbird.
Catbird, yeah.
We took a hike up Mount Lewis looking for some of the regional endemics. We were pretty successful. While we were there, we also got some good looks at these chowchilla. Now, the photography might not look great, but from what I understand, these are difficult birds to see and certainly difficult to photograph. We saw 7 in all, and I was pretty happy with the video, despite the fact that it's a little shaky and a little obstructed. The wide variety of parrots I saw in Australia were such an exciting part of the trip. Many of those species were captured in part 1 of this video, so go back and watch that if you didn't see it. But in this portion, I got a great look at a double-eyed fig parrot. It was probably the smallest parrot species that I saw, and it was so fascinating to watch it hang upside down like a nuthatch trying to eat those figs. We got excellent looks at this Australian bustard. It's unlike anything I'd ever seen before, and at 3 feet tall, it's the heaviest flighted bird in Australia. If this was the heaviest flighted bird, then I had to be getting close to an emu, right? Beater. Cool. That afternoon, we stopped at the Mariba Wetlands Reserve, where I was assured there was an emu we would have no trouble finding. More on that later. On the way into the preserve, we did get some really great looks at double-barred finches, which people in the United States might know as owl finches from aviculture or the pet trade. We also got some good looks at some chestnut-breasted munia.
Sometimes they're just being bloody minded as well when they do that.
He's like looking at us. Back to work.
We pulled over on the side of the road to get video of this very cooperative blue-winged kookaburra.
I don't know which honey eater you are.
This guy right here.
It is a brown. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Where's he going?
Little tight. There's my place.
Yep.
There's yellow spotted next to graceful. So the left hand side is yellow spotted, the right hand side is graceful.
Okay.
Very, very similar looking birds.
Yeah, the graceful. Honey eaters were by far my favorite new bird family from Australia. By the end of the trip, I saw 26 different species, and I found them to be exciting and also quite challenging. Even though they were not visually similar to our North American warblers, they presented a similar challenge with many similar and overlapping species and a lot of difficult IDs, especially for a beginner.
Those are all McClays now. Hurrying along the path to get somewhere in a hurry. Next thing the
Near where the finches are, or where?
Oh, no. Between the dams. You know,
Okay.
the dams like halfway. And suddenly this big black thing just took off from right next to the path.
Oh, well.
Wow, look at that.
What?
Oh, I'm looking at it.
There's Dusty. No, they're hard heads.
Oh, he's
There we
moving.
go, a little action. One of the last birds of the day was a black-necked stork, which I was very happy to get after missing a jabiru a few years earlier in Belize. Not exactly the same thing, but I don't have a lot of storks on my life list.
Looking right at you.
Near the end of the trip, we crossed over to the north side of the Daintree River, and we got a chance to see some pretty interesting rainforest birds. This Pacific reef heron was a great addition to the list.
So, open your door there too if you don't mind. Don't jump in.
The trip was
Grab the door
over,
handle there.
and I did not get my emu. But I did get this spectacular consolation prize, a southern cassowary. Actually, we saw quite a few southern cassowary in the Daintree Preserve, and I saw one on Mount Lewis a few days prior with the guide.
Just so you can get a clear shot. Hold your door open there, as long as he doesn't jump in. Yeah, we'll get one species. Isn't this incredible? Look at this. He's going to jump in your car.
It wasn't an emu, but it was probably the next best thing.
Amazing. Not worried about us, is he? Hello.
2015 was also the year Noah Stryker set a worldwide big year record. So you can imagine my sense of annoyance when in December of that year, he tallied his emu for the year, you guessed it, at the Mariba Wetlands Reserve, probably the exact same bird that had skunked me 5 months earlier. And that's how it is in birding. You win some, and you lose some. That's where the excitement comes from. There'd be no thrill in it if you saw every bird you wanted to see on the first try. And that just means that sometime I'm going to have to visit the southern continent again and find that emu.